This tea garden, so beautiful like a dream, seems like a peaceful place. The lush greenery, the rows of vibrant tea bushes, and the gentle breeze carry an aura of tranquility, almost as if time stands still. But beneath the peace, there's a chilling darkness hiding the old mysteries of this place. Today we will take you on a journey to a haunted tea garden, where many believe invisible forces are lurking in the workers' everyday tasks, and where the line between reality and the supernatural blurs. It was a dark night in 1995 when a worker went missing from this very garden. His name was Manoj, and after that night, no one has known where he went. His disappearance became the subject of countless rumors, and until today, his fate remains a mystery. The only question that remains unanswered is what happened to Manoj, and why did strange, unexplainable events begin to occur here shortly after his disappearance. In today's episode, we will delve into the mysterious disappearance of Manoj, and at the same time, we will uncover a terrifying truth that many believe is hidden within the dark secrets of this tea garden. The garden, once a place of peace, became shrouded in fear. What started as a normal day of work in 1995 turned into an event that would change this garden forever, casting a permanent, ghostly shadow over it. Since Manoj, the worker, vanished, this garden has quietly slipped into another world, a world where the boundary between the living and the dead is thin, and where the echoes of the past linger. Let's begin today's first episode by exploring what happened that night, and how Manoj's strange disappearance became a nightmare for both the authorities and the workers. The history of this tea garden is both ancient and shrouded in mystery. It is not just a place for tea production, but also a symbol of the rich cultural heritage of the region. However, it's not just the delicious tea leaves that this garden is known for. It is also notorious for being a haunted place among the locals. This particular garden, nestled deep in the heart of the hills, has been the site of several inexplicable occurrences over the years. The locals tell stories of ghostly figures and eerie noises, things that cannot be explained. And the center of today's story is one such mystery: the disappearance of Manoj, a worker who mysteriously vanished one fateful night. In the late 1995s, everything seemed to be going smoothly. The workers of the garden were busy with their daily tasks, the air filled with the scent of fresh tea leaves. Life was simple and routine until one evening when everything changed. Manoj was a young and hard-working laborer known for his dedication to the garden. He worked tirelessly, often from dawn to dusk, and was admired for his relentless commitment. But one day, without any warning, he disappeared. At first, the workers thought nothing of it. Perhaps he had fallen ill and gone home, or maybe he had taken a short break from work. But days passed, and Manoj was nowhere to be found. A few more days went by, and still, there was no sign of him. Manoj's disappearance became a growing mystery. It was highly uncharacteristic of him to vanish without a word, especially given his reputation as a hard-working, punctual worker. The entire garden, usually filled with the bustling noise of laborers, became eerily quiet as anxiety began to settle in. As the days stretched into weeks without any sign of Manoj, strange things started to happen. One night, while a few of the workers were on the night shift, an eerie chill swept through the garden. It wasn't the usual cool mountain air that they were accustomed to. This was different. It felt unnatural, cold, and unsettling. The wind seemed to shift direction unexpectedly, and an odd sound echoed from the dark corners of the garden. It was a sound they couldn't quite place, like a whisper or a rustling, but unlike anything they had ever heard before. Some of the workers swore that they saw a figure moving between the tea bushes, standing tall in the distance. But when they tried to approach or get a clearer look, there was nothing there. The next night, the same occurrence happened. The eerie chill returned, and the strange sound grew louder, more distinct. This time, some workers were convinced they had seen a figure, someone they recognized. They thought it was Manoj, standing motionless among the tea plants. But something was wrong. His eyes were distant, his posture was unnaturally still, and there was an unsettling aura about him. When the workers called out to him, he didn't respond. Instead, he vanished into the darkness, just as quickly as he had appeared. This repeated over the following days, with more workers claiming to see a figure resembling Manoj. But each time he would disappear without a word, though some unseen force was guiding him away from them. The situation only intensified. Fear spread like wildfire through the workers, and rumors began to swirl. Some workers believed it was Manoj's spirit trapped in the garden, while others thought it might be an omen of something darker at play. Many workers started to refuse night shifts, terrified of encountering the mysterious figure that had begun to haunt the garden. The police, alerted to the unusual events, began their own investigation. Initially, they treated it as a missing person case. However, as they delved deeper, they uncovered something far more disturbing. Each night, as they gathered evidence, they found signs that pointed to something supernatural. One night, a group of workers, determined to solve the mystery, decided to investigate the garden on their own. Armed with lanterns and a sense of dread, they entered the garden after dark. They moved silently between the tea bushes, searching for any clue that could explain the strange occurrences. As they ventured deeper into the garden, they heard the same eerie echo that others had described. It sounded as though Manoj was trying to speak to them, his voice deep and hollow, coming from all directions at once. But when they tried to find him, there was nothing, only the rustling of leaves and the sound of their own breathing. And then, in a corner of the garden, they saw something that made their blood run cold. It was Manoj, not the way they remembered him. It was a strange, translucent figure, an echo of what he once was. His body seemed to shimmer with an unnatural light, and his eyes were blank, staring into nothingness. The workers stood frozen, too terrified to move. When they tried to approach, the figure dissolved into the night, vanishing like a puff of smoke. Next morning, when the workers recounted their experience, the atmosphere grew even more tense. Stories of Manoj's ghostly presence were no longer just rumors, they were something the workers had witnessed firsthand. The garden was becoming a place where reality and the supernatural were intertwined. As the days went by, the authorities intensified their search for answers, but nothing concrete was found. It wasn't long before paranormal researchers took an interest in the case. A local group of devotees, along with a professional paranormal research team, arrived at the garden with the intention of investigating the supernatural claims. Equipped with cameras, audio recorders, and other equipment, they set up their research station in the heart of the garden. They were determined to uncover the truth behind the strange happenings. After hours of careful observation, they finally captured something shocking. In a video recording, a woman's voice was heard, faint but unmistakable, whispering, "Help me, I'm here." Then, another chilling voice followed. Go away and don't come back." The team was horrified. Voices were clear. They seemed to come from deep within the garden, as though they were being spoken by an unseen presence. Terrified by what they had witnessed, the team quickly packed up and left the garden, their minds unable to comprehend what they had just experienced. The footage they captured became a chilling piece of evidence that this garden was indeed haunted. If you ever visit this haunted tea garden, you might have a different experience. Some say you can still feel Manoj's presence, lingering among the tea bushes, his ghostly figure drifting in and out of view. Others claim to hear the voices that the researchers recorded, calling out from the shadows. But what if it isn't just Manoj's spirit trapped here? A few weeks after Manoj's strange disappearance, another worker vanished. This time it was Ramesh, another young and dedicated labourer. Ramesh was known for his cheerful nature and strong work ethic, but one evening he too disappeared without a trace. Some workers swore they saw him, too, wandering among the tea plants just like Manoj had, his movements eerie and unnatural. But again, he vanished as quickly as he appeared. The months passed, more and more workers started to go missing. Each week another worker would disappear, and the fear only grew. Was it an accident? Or was something more sinister at work? Rumors of a curse began to circulate. Some believed the land itself was haunted by a restless spirit, or that a dark force had taken hold of the garden. And with each disappearance, the mystery grew darker, the line between reality and the supernatural thinner. As the missing workers began to pile up, the garden's once thriving workforce slowly dwindled, and the story became a haunting legend passed down through generations. What started with Manoj's disappearance had now become an ever-growing mystery, one that was still not solved to this day. Join us next week as we continue to explore the dark forces at work in this haunted garden. What is really going on here? Is there any hope of finding answers? Missing workers continue to haunt the tea garden, forever lost in its eerie depths. In the next episode, we'll uncover the chilling details behind Ramish's disappearance and explore the eerie connection between each missing worker. What is really happening in this garden? And will the supernatural force that haunts it ever be understood?